All right, welcome to Ohav Shalom, Messianic Congregation. Thank you, thank you. So, it looks like we're gathered together as we come here to rendezvous with the God of Israel. Who is Israel? Well, Israel, loosely speaking, are the Jewish people. We have always been a people, but we have been a people in dispersion. And coming back, where's the term Jew or Jewish come from? It comes from the fact that we originate in the land of Judea. And where's Judea? Judea is in the territories known as the West Bank. Now, people forget about the fact that the borders promised to Abraham extend out from the Great River to eventually the Euphrates River. Now, that would include all of Jordan, the lands of Ammon, Moab, Ammon, and Edom, which is Jordan. So eventually, we're going to be not talking about the West Bank, we're going to be talking about the East Bank. So what is taking so long? Well, God has his timetable, and we expect, given that we feel that we have a very limited period of time, 70, except by unusual strength, it's all got to happen within our important lifetime, because after all, we feel that we are important individuals, and ours is the important life, and this is the important time to be living, and after that. So it's all got to happen, and justice must be performed within our lifetime. And all these prophecies, and it just ain't necessarily so. God says 100 years, 1,000 years, what is that? What is that? And I can't help but think that he takes delight in having all of this evolve very slowly, relishing the fact that his adversary can push and shove and try and try to create problems. But in the end, he says, it's just the more you wiggle, the worse it's going to be. It's all going to happen anyhow. So good to be back from Israel. We had some significant things happen while there. And it's very interesting that although the Messianics in Israel they give us a hard time on establishing citizenship. They give us a hard time on a lot of things, and in the courts, et cetera, et cetera. But if you come up with something that's good, they don't care if you're Messianic. They don't care. So when we talk to these officials, they all know who we are. But on the other hand, if we're doing things that are good for them, there's been a whole sea change in terms of officialdom in Israel, looking upon the Messianics in a more favorable way. And slowly this is seeping down to the man on the street. So, on December 25th, 1989, the Supreme Court of Israel made a decision about citizenship concerning Jewish people who accept Yeshua, Jesus, as the Messiah. And having read the various Supreme Court opinions, one said, well, it has to do with, did you ever belong to a church? If you belong to a church, then you were a convert to another religion and therefore didn't qualify for citizenship. Or were you baptized? And each of the Supreme Court judges gave their opinion. One, Judge Barak, turned out to be eventually the Supreme Court chief, and he said, all right, it has to do with the opinion of the man on the street. And right now the opinion in December 25th, 1989 was that believers in Yeshua have converted to another religion. He says, however, if the man on the street's opinion changes, then the law should change. So, question, has the man on the street, has that opinion changed? It has to a great extent. So, we know the end of that. God is working it out. Hey, that's only 29 years. What's that? Poof. But we are winning. Because after all, the Scriptures say, therefore, the redeemed of the Lord shall return unto Zion. Amen. It's locked in. Now let's see. The redeemed, well, wait a minute. Returning to Zion means you were there in the first place. Who's that? And you know what? So them's the Jews returning to Zion. And we're the only Jews claiming to be redeemed. The only ones. Therefore, the redeemed of the Lord, the Jewish believers, will be able to return. About 50% of our people who apply are getting in. Times are a-changing. And we're part of a very slow process, but we're part of something that's happening. So, that's some of what's going on in Israel, and I'm sure there'll be opportunities for more in the weeks ahead. So,